I stand here today to speak on hypocrisy of Jan Viswas Bill 2026, which speaks of discriminalizing multiple laws, but in reality is actually normalizing corruption, fraud, and corporate non-compliance. Speaker, sir, this bill that public trust, but the bill betrays it. It's bluntly asking us to trade justice for revenue and accountability with administrative convenience. In the name of reform, what the bill is actually handling us is simply receipt of mistakes. We are told that the financial trade of justice is a good idea because it will encourage ease of doing business in the country. But let me tell you, sir, the government decision to remove punishment across multiple laws is no less than a disaster in the making. The biggest concern I would like to flag is the serious threat to the women's safety that this bill presents, especially at the time when every woman in the country deserves stronger protection, not weaker laws. Under the Railways Act, Section 145, dealing with the drunken and disorderly behavior on trains, currently carries only 24 hours of imprisonment, which is laughable, inadequate, which we see daily incidents of harassment faced by women passengers. And also Section 147 on trespassing into railway properties carry only 3 months, which should be at least 6 months, because the railway security is a matter of both national safety and women's protection. And also Section 162 that protects the women reserved compartments from male intrusions must strictly imprisonment, but this is not a mere rule of violation. It is a question of every woman's dignity and right to safe travel. There are also the bill has removed the necessary deterrents required for ensuring public health and safety also. Previously, provisions of Drugs and Cosmetics Act were meant to ensure that the profit-making incentives do not come to the cost of public health. Now, this government has removed imprisonment for those who manufacture and sell fake medicines and fraudulent cosmetics. This is at a time when illegal factories are already operating without licenses and duplicating the product. Rackets are running openly in many of the cities in India. Reducing the punishment from imprisonment to mere 1 lakh fine is not a reform. It is an open invitation to endanger the health of every ordinary Indian who cannot tell a genuine product from a dangerous or fake product. So it is completely bizarre that the Section 51, which is also one of the sections in Disaster Management Act, this government has shockingly reduced the punishment for obstructing disaster relief operations also. A crime that previously carried an imprisonment up to 1 year, up to 2 years at least, when the lives were lost, has now been cut down to merely 6 months and 1 year respectively, approximately. So I ask this House, what logic explains putting our citizens' lives under threat? Under rising environmental risk and climate change threats, this government believes that obstructing rescue operations with 1 year punishment is sufficient. Sir, this is not reform, this is administrative surrender, and I oppose it completely. Under Section 15 of Petroleum and Mineral Pipeline Act 1962, this government upped the minimum punishment for pipeline sabotage, damage and illegal interference. Earlier, this crime carried a minimum 10 years, extendable to life imprisonment or even death. But now the punishment has reduced to minimum of just 5 years, sir. Pipelines carry the energy that powers this nation, and any sabotage or illegal interference is not a minor offense, but a direct attack on the national infrastructure and public safety. I therefore demand the original provisions be fully restored, because when you reduce the punishment for crimes against national infrastructure, you are not easing business, sir. You are allowing harm to this country. Sir, farmers and artisans, from one of the strongest backbone of this country, as my constituency, Bongir, at the time when these sections are already facing grave economic and environmental distress, instead of providing better support from the government, this bill has done the complete opposite. It has removed the imprisonment from the Cattle Trespassing Act, meaning powerful individuals who repeatedly destroy a small farmer's standing crops will now face nothing more than a small fine. For our farmers, the destruction of even one harvest can mean starvation. and the existing law is only protection. So the government has now stripped our farmers from this safety too. This injustice has been done against our handloom weavers also. By removing imprisonment from the Handloom Reservation Act, the government is asking us to allow large manufacturers to freely flood the market with fake machine-made products at just 10,000 rupees fine, wiping out the livelihood of thousands of artisans. Our belief of the farmers and traditional craftsmen of my constituency, state and nation, I protest against the government move from rule of law to rule of fines. I would therefore like to conclude, Honourable Speaker, sir, that this reform is asking us to support the systematic dismantling of the fear of law. It is asking us to accept the money in the exchange of fake medicines that poison our children, to pipeline sabotage that threatens national security, to disaster relief being obstructed without consequences, to farmers and the weavers left defenseless against exploitation. By removing imprisonment across 21 laws, it is replacing the iron hand of justice with a cash box, telling every fraudster, every saboteur, every exploiter in this country, if you have money, you have nothing to fear. So, sir, this is what it is. This law has to be rethink about, and because the 21 laws have erased the punishment. So, this is my input. So, thank you very much for